I think let's start from what does PM stand for? What can it stand for? So yeah, let's start from there.
Yeah. Um, so when you hear PM, it can stand for, at least the one that I know, is a
Hmm.
product
Hmm.
manager, and program manager. Those are the
Yeah.
three that I usually see in the market.
Hmm.
And just to be very fun and just to be very ridiculous, they also their definitions change from a company to another.
Yeah.
I know, for example, in Microsoft, a program manager is what usually is referred as a product manager. In other companies, project managers, I think, is quite consistent across different companies. But then product managers sometimes get called product owners in certain companies. But then if you find a company that has a product owner, a product manager, and a product project manager, just don't join that company. People must be stepping on everybody's toes frequently, so just don't join them. But yeah, usually you would have um, whatever flavor of product management, and then if really I think the moment where project managers become needed is when execution is actually quite tricky. Maybe there is some technicalities around execution that really requires someone to be super involved operationally on a day to day on how projects get accelerated and get completed. That's when I think project managers are required, and are actually, their help is much more needed. Or you would have a product manager that is extremely good in execution. That's how I kind of differ between each one of them. To be clear, I don't think one is better than the other. I think with each role, I think you get to hone a different set of skills. Project
Okay.
managers usually get a lot of exposure on execution. They are
Okay.
extremely good at removing roadblocks, identifying roadblocks ahead of time, getting people in the right meeting to make the right decisions. So operationally, these are geniuses. These people can really execute extremely well. Their projects don't fall
Mhm.
behind. They're able to clear all of the roadblocks. So if you're looking to hone that skill, if you want to get better and better at those skills, project
Mhm.
managers is a really good opportunity. Product managers are opportunities where you can hone your strategy skills. People that are maybe looking into MBAs might like product manager roles because they have this
Mhm.
component of setting strategy, identifying gaps in the market where you think your product could fit in right there. You set
Mhm.
the vision. You really are trying to inspire and convince people that we should get into this market and why we should get into this market. So those are skills that product manager opportunities can help you hone on. That's why you see in a lot of companies, MBA students actually end up being product managers as well. But then it's a trade off. The excellent product managers kind of have their spider chart really maxed out in all skill sets. But then if you come from an MBA, you might spike into strategy, and then execution you just fall behind. And that's when the collaboration with engineering managers, with project engineering leads, becomes really important.
Okay. That's very interesting because I've just always wondered, like, usually I just say PM and you go figure out whatever PM means to you. I'm like, okay, PM, like, just go figure. I don't want to start explaining what that is about there, but I think it's good to have that clarification, which then probably leads me to the next question, which is, you are a product manager at Asana. What are some of the skills that you use on a daily basis? What are some of the skills that you think, say, are important for you as a product manager?
I think the foundational skill that every single product manager, regardless of where you are, is your attention to your customers. So if you're a
Mm,
product manager and you haven't chatted with any of your customer out there, there's something that you're doing wrong, or that your company
mhm.
is not allowing you to do. That's fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
You need to be super in touch with customers. And the reason why you need to be super in touch with your customers is because you are the person that represents your customers among your team. That's how you're going to inspire them. That's how you're going to make them realize that what they're building matters, that it helps actual pains from your customers, that when we're going to ship it, people are going to use it as opposed to not using it. So really, you need to be the advocate for customers. That's the first skill. That's the foundational bedrock of being a product manager. The second is, when you get into this iterative state of talking to your customers, you start to hear very often similar pains. You start to almost, there's a light bulb that starts to lighten up, and that's when you start to see, oh, there is this space that we need to enter because a lot of people are complaining about, and that's where the strategy skill set start to enter in motion. That's the second skill set. And then the third skill set, which I think is one of the most hard to hone, at least for me personally, is communication. You need a way to convey to your team that this is the right path that we need to take, and this is the most leverage project that we need to work on. Because if we do that, then we're going to be able to do this. Then we're eventually going to be able to ship that. And then kind of this communication, this level of clarity is one of the core skill that makes excellent PMs out there. And that's when you start to become a lead, because you understand your space so well that you're able to connect the dots on what needs to happen for you to reach this ultimate goal. So these three kind of customer centricity, being leads you to be strategic with your bets and eventually be able
Mm-hmm.
to communicate that to the team to make them realize that this is what we need to work on,
Mm-hmm.
is key to being a PM. And then of course, getting there's something that is shared across all of the tech companies among my friends, and the one that I've gone to is, you need to be someone that's biased to get shit done. Like PMs
Yeah.
don't get paid for not shipping. Like if you're not shipping for a month, 2 months, 3 months, you're doing something wrong. If you're not shipping for
Mm-hmm.
3 months, you're doing something wrong. So you need to be shipping, getting stuff done. It doesn't mean that you ship features to outside customers. You can be shipping features to internal stakeholders,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to be shipping.
Yeah.
If you're not shipping
Mm-hmm.
for 2 or 3 months, you're doing something wrong. And then when you ship stuff, you're gonna get feedback. And how do you
Okay.
internalize that feedback? How do you um, grow from that feedback is also something that is highly valued as a PM. So these five skills is how, when GNI happens, when growth and impact happens, when you're getting evaluated on how was your last 6 months, how was your last year,
Mm-hmm.
we look at these
Yeah.
five skill set, and you can think of it as a spider chart. You have these pentagon, and then okay, this the past 6 months I really tried to improve my communication because I think I was a
Yeah.
bit less than the other edges, and then you try to
Mm-hmm.
boost there. It's a kind of a visual representation to evaluate where you are as a PM.
Okay. I think that's very interesting. I mean, a couple of things that I got is that get shit done, bias for action in Asana terms.
Yeah,
Also, like you need to be able to communicate, get from the customer to what the team needs and how the like what the team is supposed to work on, be able to like translate the customer pain to what the team is going to work for, which sort of like then leads me to two questions. The first one is, what's the role of a PM? I know like a PM, whether product manager, a project manager, can be in different industry, and how they interact differs. But you and I are in the tech industry, and you work with engineers and designers and stuff. So what's the dynamic? What does the dynamic of a PM look like in an engineering team? I don't know if that question makes sense. Some of these questions are just coming from my head now. Sorry, they
yeah,
are not. Yeah, I'm just
no,
trying
no,
to
no,
have a nice conversation. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're touching on something very important in the PM skill set. Is you're
Hmm.
bound to talk to very different people, not only in functions but also in
Hmm.
incentives. Like when I
Hmm.
talk to people, the first thing I ask myself is, what does this person have to gain from talking with me or from this conversation? If you
Mm-hmm.
can't answer that question, you should not have that conversation with that person. Because if the person cannot understand what's their incentive to helping you or to have this conversation, you're not going to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be as ridiculous as this person needs to talk to me, or this person will benefit from chatting with me, because what I'm going to tell this person is something that they don't know and that will impact their life or their work in the next 6 months. As easy as that. It doesn't have to be related to them getting a promotion or not getting a promotion.
Mm-hmm.
It can be as this is a must know for this person for their next 6 months. So identify what is the incentive for the person you're communicating with. What would they gain from chatting with you? And that's when I
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of mindset I have when I chat with engineers, with designers.
Yeah.
Okay, engineers, I should chat with the project lead or the tech lead, because if I go and present this roadmap to leadership without getting information from my tech lead, they're going to be surprised 6 months down the line. They're
Yeah.
going to tell me, "Oh, this is not feasible. It's going to make their
Yeah.
life hell." Thus, they're
Mm-hmm.
going to make my life hell. So they need to
Yeah.
know this information.